Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm going to go over the best way to farm ender pearls in Minecraft. But before the video actually begins, I would kindly appreciate if you could drop a like on the video and could consider subscribing to my channel, as that would help greatly. But yeah guys, let's get into the video. Now, I actually did make a video on this topic back in February this year, but I personally feel like the video was rushed, and I didn't go over that much detail in the video as it was only 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. Preferably in this video, it's going to be a bit longer, but due to those extra long minutes, I'm going to go in more detail and help out the people who are confused in that video on the method I showed. But other than that, let's get into the guide. Now, just another quick piece of information before we get into the guide, this does work on both Bedrock Edition and Java, so you have nothing to stress about there. Now, step 1 to this guide is to locate a village. Now, this step is actually the most important one, as we're going to be trading with villagers to actually acquire these ender pearls. And yes, you heard that right. Some of you may not know this, but you can actually get ender pearls by trading with villagers. Trust me, the task isn't that daunting. Once you actually listen to the steps I'm going to show you, okay, this actually isn't that hard. It just takes a bit of time. Now, one more quick tip on that, by the way. It doesn't matter which village you actually find, whether it's a sand village or a general village, because this process works either way, so just keep that in mind. So now that you have discovered a village, it's time to begin step 2. You need to trap 2 villagers in separate houses. Now, there's different ways of doing this. You don't actually have to trap them in a house. You could, trap them in a hole, or, like I mentioned earlier, in one of the villager houses. It doesn't matter, as long as you have a decent space for them, as you're going to be placing blocks around them. Just find a method to either lure them into a house or trap them in a hole. Now, it's time to move on to step 3. You need to craft a fletching table and a brewing stand. I'll have the crafting methods on the screen for a little bit here. Just look over it and try to find these materials, as you actually do 100% need these items. Now, the fletching table, there is a chance that it spawns in a village, and that's the same with a brewing stand. So before you actually do this, maybe look around the village, as they can spawn in houses. But personally, on my end, I've actually never had luck with it, so I'm not sure on what the rarity is on that. But yeah, just get these 2 items and comment to the video, and we'll continue with the guide. Now, it's time to move on to step 4, arguably the easiest step. It's time to actually turn these villagers that you've trapped earlier into hard workers. So, place the fletching table next to one of them, and the brewing stand next to another, just like I did in this video. Now, this is going to turn the fletching table villager into a fletcher, and the brewing stand villager into a cleric. Now, if you're actually finding that you're having trouble turning your villagers into either a fletcher or a cleric, it's probably because you've actually got the other villagers in your town too close to your trap villagers, and you've accidentally turned them into either a cleric or a fletcher. So simply put, just barricade off the other villagers from yours, and then keep trying the process again until you're successful. So now that you have your fletcher and cleric villager, it's time to actually begin the process. Now, essentially in this guide, you're going to be chopping down a lot of trees, as you're going to be turning those trees into sticks. Now, I would recommend before you even begin this, to actually create a small little tree farm around the village, as you're going to have to be chopping down a lot, and you actually find that you're going to be running out of trees very, very quickly. So now that you have your sticks ready to go, it's time to go find the fletcher villager and begin trading. So right click on him, and then you want to do the trade that has 32 sticks for 1 emerald. So keep clicking that until it's maxed out. Now, what you want to do is you want to head over to the cleric once you have those emeralds from giving him those sticks. And he's going to have a trade in which you give him an emerald and he's going to have a random item. So give him that emerald and take whatever random item he gives you. Now keep doing this until you have actually run out of emeralds and you have, whatever random item he gives you, and you've maxed out on that. Now what you're actually doing here is the process is you're trying to level up this cleric until you actually reach expert level. Now expert level is when we have a chance of actually unlocking the ender pearls. So continue doing this process. So go back to the fletcher, give him the sticks for the emeralds. Now you're going to notice that by doing this a couple times that the cleric is actually gaining EXP, and eventually he's going to level up to a new level. Now when he levels up, you want to do the new trade that he's offering, and so he's going to offer once again, you give him ender pearls and he'll give you a random item. Keep doing this until he actually reaches expert level, which should take about 50 minutes to an hour from personal experience. Once he reaches expert level, this is when we have the chance of unlocking ender pearls. Now keep in mind that you want to continue to do the same trade with the fletcher from earlier, as he's going to continue to ask for 32 sticks per emerald. But another thing to keep in mind is that he's going to up the price and he's going to ask for more sticks per emerald. You can either continue to do that trade, or you can go and trap another villager and turn him into a fletcher. It's entirely up to you. So now that you've actually managed to get the cleric to expert level, it's time to see if he's offering 5 emeralds for an ender pearl, as that would be his new trade. But there's a catch though. There's only a 50% chance of that happening, and if you're unlucky and he's offering another trade, well, then it's time to restart the whole process, I'm sad to say. Now, from my personal experience, I've actually only been unlucky once doing this guide. But at the end of the day, it all does come down to chance, and I know that sucks. You might get it the first time, you might get it the third time, but I promise you, eventually it's going to happen. Now, if you did manage to get lucky on one of your first few hits, it's time to begin actually trading for these ender pearls. So, once again, go up to the Fletcher, get ender pearls for sticks, then go up to the cleric, and he's going to ask for 5 emeralds per ender pearl. Continue this process until you have however many ender pearls you need. Now, if you found today's detailed Minecraft ender pearl guide helpful, I would kindly appreciate if you could drop a like on this video and could consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, as that would help greatly. But yeah, other than that boys, I'm gonna head out. Peace.